Hey, what's going on, guys? It is Master RKO, and today I'm bringing you guys another video. We're going to be going through another introduction to one of our game types for League play, so that way you guys can get the most information, especially for you beginners, about the second game type that we will be playing pretty much throughout the entire year. And this has been one of the more popular game types, so for those of you expert players, this may be a little too basic for you guys, but you never know, you may learn something new. So let's go ahead and dive in, and we will start with Search and Destroy. Now, for those of you who may not know the rules, we'll go ahead and go through those super quick. The objective of the game is there is going to be an attacking team and a defense team. The attacking team will have a bomb that one player will carry, and there are two objectives around the map that are considered plant sites. Now, each site will have an area that you can plant the bomb around the objective, and each team will have the chance to do that in one round. The biggest key with Search and Destroy is that you only have one life each round, so if you end up dying, you're out for the round. Now, each team will switch back and forth from offense and defense, and the attacking team will have a few objectives. Either A, plant the bomb and defend that planted bomb until it explodes, or B, eliminate the enemy team. Where the defending team has a little bit of an easier time at the start, because their objective is really only to take out the enemy team, or if the bomb gets planted, defuse it in the allotted time before it goes off. So the attacking team will have more of an issue starting out, but the defending team has more problems as the game gets further. Now there will be a few rules that we'll go through. Roles, not rules. I need to learn to speak. And we will be delving into those shortly. But let's go ahead and get into some of the technical aspects of the rules. So these are all the default. I will go over quickly some of the ones that will end up getting changed. For example, in the win conditions, the time limit will probably be 1.5 minutes per round instead of 2 minutes, so you'll have a little bit less time than your public matches. The round limit will be a little bit higher because the round win limit is actually going to be 6 instead of your normal 4 like it would be in public matches. Now, they've already switched to where you swap back and forth, so that's always been changed, but the way that it used to play, say you're coming from like a game like Black Ops 2, those games you would be on the attacking team for 3 rounds and then the defense team 3 rounds. Whereas on the new games, the attacking team and the defense team switch every round. That way everyone gets an equal shot and the maps aren't too one-sided at the beginning. The bomb timer normally stays the same. The plant time as well, 5 seconds. The defuse time used to be 5 seconds in public matches, but they've actually upped it to stay with the league play and CWL options, so that is 7.5 seconds. Why is that an issue? Well, because the way it used to be is a lot of people would come into public matches and lose a lot of defenses because of the extended defuse time. What this means is, if the enemy has the bomb planted and you go to defuse it, you basically have an extra 2.5 seconds that you have to account for to make sure that it doesn't blow up on you. There's never going to be a multi-bomb, and it's always going to switch rounds every round, and silent plant most likely is going to be disabled. Now, that is an option in certain game types with certain tournaments that you can't hear people planting, but that's never going to be the case in league play. You're going to hear the people planting, and you can always play for that as defensive measures. In the spawns, everyone's going to have 1 life. There will not be any respawn delay, anything like that. None of that's going to really be messed with, and most of this stuff will also be the same. There will be usually an explosive delay for league play matches, stuff like that, because usually when it comes to throwing grenades and stuff like that, they usually give a few second delay in league play, stuff like that, but I don't know if they will keep that the same because there aren't so many equipments being used. It's mostly the specialists and their secondary abilities, so we'll see what they do with that. The score streak delay is always going to be there, the score multiplier is the same, and the fog of war will probably be there as well. So now that we've got the rules kind of out of the way, and a basis of the game, let's go ahead and hop into an actual game, and just give you guys kind of a layout. So I'll quickly set these up just so we can hop into a game promptly. So what we're going to be going over really quick when we get into our match is we're going to be going over different roles that players can have, different strategies and stuff like that, and just a basis of getting used to playing the game type of Search and Destroy, and some things to look out for. So while we are here,
I will not fail.
We'll go ahead and pick our class and get spawned in here, and what you're going to notice as soon as we start is that the timer is immediately going to start on some of these rounds. And the reason why I didn't switch that for this is because while we're on each side, I'm just going to be going over a few things, and it gives a little bit of a quickness to get used to how quick the rounds can really go. So starting out, we are probably going to be on the we're on the offensive side. So as you can see, there's a bomb, and you see that there's 2 minutes on the clock. There will normally be about 1.5 when you're playing League play. And you can see that there are 2 targets on either side that we can go to. So your pre-round strategies are really going to be which site you're going to go to and where you're going to set up. But just for the basic setups, what your job is to take the bomb, make your way over to a bomb site, defending yourself from any possible enemies coming in your direction, making sure that you don't get picked off. Remember, if you die, you're out for the round, so you don't get to come back and help your team. So it's always key to play your life. Make sure that you're watching around areas, keeping your flanks watched, and we'll get into more of those rules later. Now, as you can see, when I come to the bomb, you get a prompt that says to plant the bomb. If you hold it, you see the bar begins, and that's a full 5 seconds. Now, some of the keys when it comes to planting the bomb and being on offense is to make sure that you're setting up to where you have teammates watching over you. If you're down here planting the bomb, and you'll usually always lay down or crouch just to make sure that you have some cover. The key is to make sure that you have teammates still alive while you're doing that. So you have people watching your flanks, making sure you're not getting killed, and just overall making sure that they're going to have one extra person. Now, when it comes to planting the bomb, there are a few different things you can go over, but really just straight up, we'll talk about the I guess the late game of a Search and Destroy round. So there you go, the timer started. What do we do now? Well, more than likely, if enemy hasn't already made their way to you, they're going to be making their way to you from a direction. Most of the time the other side of the bomb, or the other bomb site. So, to make sure that you're going to be successful, you're wanting to make sure that that bomb blows up. So you're going to be holding angles as an offensive player, making sure that they can't get to that bomb and defuse. So as you're making sure that you're keeping everything there, you're going to be peeking corners, making sure that everyone's going to be watching their area, and hopefully you have enough people alive. And if all goes well, that sound will go off, and you will win the round for your team. That is how you play offense. Besides some extra killing, seems kind of simple. So, if offense is that easy, defense should be about as simple, right?
Switching sides.
Actually, it is, in this sense, but there's some strategy to it. First of all, on the defensive side, now you get to choose. Do you send everybody to one bomb site? Or do you stack a site? Or do you play certain areas? Well, as a defensive person, your job is to make sure they don't plant that bomb. So your job really is just to set up perimeters and defenses. Make sure that they can't get to you, and make sure that they can't cross that threshold to get that bomb planted. The problem with being on offense is that certain bomb sites will be better off for the offense versus the defense. For instance, where we spawn, quickest way that we can get to a bomb site is going to be A and B. We can get to both pretty quick. We spawn right here, and we can easily get to there quickly, or we can drop down there. If you're on the offensive side, though, the quickest way to a bomb site is pretty simple, and that's A. You spawn back in that corner, and you immediately realize you have to go almost all the way across the map to get to B, where A is right here. Now, it's not always going to be A and B in those spots, but there's always going to be, on most maps at least, a advantage, or a certain area of the map that you can get to quicker. So as a defensive player, you have to keep in mind of where that's going to be and set up accordingly, whereas an offensive player, you can choose to play for your strength and get there faster, or go for the long route and try to throw off your enemies. And as you can see, excuse me, on the back of the map, you can actually see when the bomb goes down. And there will be a sound cue as well when you kill somebody with the bomb. So keep a listen for that too. If you're shooting an enemy and they die and you hear a sound cue, or you see the bomb on the ground, make sure as a defensive player you're calling that out to your team. That way they're not getting into gunfights they don't need to, because the offensive team has to plant the bomb.
Good job, Black. Do it again and we get to go home.
So now we've gone over the basics for each side, and we've had a couple rounds go down. We've got 2 rounds left, so let's talk about roles. Well, for the offensive team, you're going to have a few different ones. You're going to have a bomb carrier, obviously.
We got the bomb.
You're going to have basic protectors, people who are going to run with the bomb carrier, make sure that they stay alive, and guard them while they're planting the bomb. The bomb carrier is normally going to be a sub or an up-close and personal guy, because he's going to be having to, dodge fights, dodge in and out, make sure he's getting the bomb down, etc. The followers are going to be more mid-ranged ARs, long-ranged ARs, and maybe some submachine guns depending on what they're running and the map. But they're going to be staying at a range, almost using the bomb planter as bait. But they're going to be the first ones to peek, but also the last ones to walk away. The planter is going to be making sure that he gets the bomb down for the team. And the last role is a sniper. Snipers are going to be the Overwatch. They're going to be watching the bomb from afar, getting in those tight spots that they can peek people, and making sure that they're going to be calling out places. The main key of a sniper is going to be getting into the middle of the map, or getting in the spot where most population is going to be moving, and communicating. Search and Destroy is a huge game of communication, and the teams that communicate the most are definitely going to win. There's no getting around that. In Search and Destroy, where your life matters the most, that key is going to be telling people where you're at. But it's also going to be where the bomb is planted. Now, you may think that you can just plant the bomb and everything will be fine, but keep in mind you have people watching you. So, one thing to keep in mind when you're planting the bomb is where the bomb is planted, because your team is going to need to see that as well.
Bomb planted.
For instance,
Hold your positions.
when you plant the bomb, it goes at your feet. In older games, you used to throw it when you ran, but now it goes at your feet. So, when you're planting the bomb around a point, it's kind of interesting to try to remember where you're going to place it. If you place it over here in this corner, but your teammates are over here, you're not going to be able to see it. But if you have a guy with a sniper and he's all the way back here, well, guess what? He can watch the bomb from up on this pedestal. Someone tries to plant the bomb, or defuse it, he can pick him off. And all of your guys around here can also see it. You could even have a guy sit back here and keep an eye on the bomb, and make sure that on an interval time, you're checking it and making sure no one's defusing. Which, one big tip is, if you're on offense, you know how long it takes for a defensive player to defuse the bomb. So there's really no need to check it every 20 seconds. Or even every 2. Checking the bomb every 7.5 to 8 seconds, even if you have to count it out in your head, can get you some easy wins, honestly. But going to the defensive side and their roles, they're pretty much very similar. You're going to have someone up close, someone on the bomb site, making sure that anybody that tries to push up closer is going to be able to defend it, and those people are normally going to be your mid-ranged ARs and your submachine guns. You're going to have your sniper, who's going to be watching over and calling out to people, and we can definitely delve into more of those roles, and we probably will when it comes to getting into more of the intermediate and expert strategies for search and destroy. Calling out, getting into certain areas, communication over who's alive, how many people cross across certain parts of the map, and so on. But we're delving in the basics right now. But the other role, I guess, for this last little minute are the flankers. Flankers are mainly going to play on defense, but sometimes they can play on offense. And they're going to be the ones that take the path of least resistance, but also the path least taken. When you spawn off, you're not going to go towards the bombs. You may wrap through one side that's not taken, but you're going to take the path that no one's looking, sitting in the middle of the map, picking people off from the back, wrapping through one bomb site to sneak behind everybody, or just wrapping through middle and taking a little half flank just to get behind everybody and take out half of their team before they mow you down. The flanker is actually one of the more important roles of search and destroy, just because a good flanker can destroy an entire team in seconds without anybody even noticing they're there, and a good flanker will do it and get out and keep the enemy team absolutely terrified. Those are just a few roles and some tips when it comes to search and destroy, and hopefully this has been a little educational for some of you who may be learning these new League play game types, or maybe new to this. We'll definitely get into more expert and intermediate tips when the time comes and when League play gets here. But so far we've only got one more game type to worry about, and that's control. So we'll worry about that next week when the next video comes out. But until then, I'm Master RKO. Hope this video has been helpful for you. If you have any questions, leave it in the comments and we can definitely make a video about it. If you liked it, click the like button. And if you want to continue with this educational, year-long journey that we're going on, click the subscribe button. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one. Adios.